Your body language will always expose you. Your body language will always tell the truth about what's really going on the inside. See, there are individuals who use body language, which is a form of nonverbal communication, while they're actually communicating verbally. And so a lot of times when you look at the way that people move while they say what they say, it can kind of give you a sense of, is there a truth behind what they're saying? A lot of times body language is the validation behind verbal communication. So that's why sometimes you can look at somebody and say, something's not right. I don't think they're being honest. Look at how they cut their eyes, or why do they look so uncomfortable while they're talking about that? What is it? Why do they seem so uneasy? It's because of their body language. So now that means that if what I am saying to you does not hold more weight than the expressions that I show while I say it, if the gestures and the body movement and the vibe that I put off by how I am moving my body and the message that I am sending with my body holds more weight than my actual words, then that should let us know how important our body language is, especially as men and women of God. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fourth Quarter Pressure, where you are always the more and never the lesser. I am your host, CJ Stokely, and as always, I am grateful and honored for this opportunity just to take some of your time for a brief moment as your week is progressing, just to give you some nuggets, some insight, some wisdom, so that you can go forward doing all that God has called you to do and to be. Now, remember, this is Fourth Quarter Pressure, right? So number one, you are always the more and never the lesser. Number two, the goal is to consistently build you up week by week until you become fourth quarter pressure. What is fourth quarter pressure? Fourth quarter pressure is when the game is on the line and a play needs to be made. Will you show up? Right? I'm using that as a metaphoric term, as an analogy. When times get tough, when life gets hard, when you face different trials and tribulations in life, how will you show up? Will you be so much pressure that you put pressure on pressure in order to overcome pressure? Or will you die down? Will you submit? Will you give in to what's going on and it overtake you and it defeat you? Right? We are trying to ensure that at the end of the day, you are always a winner, that you are actually fourth quarter pressure because God created you to be the more and never the lesser. So that is what being fourth quarter pressure is all about. And that's why you tune in every week to get these nuggets of wisdom and insight so that you can be all that God has called you to be. Now, side note, peep the apparel, okay? This is officialglorygear.com. Okay. That's the website where you can go and you can go check it out. And there is a plethora of things for men and women. We also have a Glory Gear and Glory Apparel, two separate lines. We also have something called Edgy Chick, where it's all about being fine as wine and being tough as nails. It is a clothing line that supports the women that are kingdom ambassadors, but you're also tough. You're sweet, you're nice, you're loving, and you're giving, but you also stand firm on what you believe in. That is what that line of clothing is all about. So I don't want to take too much time on that, but go and check it out. Officialglorygear.com. This is one of the shirts. right? I love this shirt. This is one of my favorite shirts, but we have a multitude of things for your choosing. I also am working on the fourth quarter pressure clothing line. So that will be coming out soon, as well as the website will be completed soon. So stay tuned for that. Got a lot of good things coming for you. And then there's also some other things that I'm working on too, to help you continue to grow outside of just us sitting down during these podcast episodes. Something that is a little bit more personal, something that you can keep on your person, hint, hint, something you can keep on your person on a day-to-day basis that you can always tap into to help you as you go through the different things that you go through in life when you don't have time to stop and actually watch an episode. All right, so enough of all that. Let's go straight into it. We are on part 3 of a series called The Power of Communication. This week's episode, the subtitle is Body Language. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about body language. The power of communication, the focus is on body language. Now, what is body language? Body language is nonverbal communication, right? Majority of us probably know what body language is, and we've probably had experiences with body language. There is good body language and there is bad body language. And on this episode today, we're going to be talking about why being in tune with what kind of body language you have is so important. Why that is so important to your success. Why that is so important to you becoming all of who God desires for you to become, you reaching your goals, you achieving the different things that you have a desire to achieve, because believe it or not, your body language actually really does matter. A lot of times your body language actually speaks louder than your words. Which, for example, is the reason why most people who struggle with talking about how they feel have loud body language. Right? We're in this series on the power of communication to help individuals understand that by not communicating, they are giving up a part of where their power comes from, a large part of where their power comes from. There are a lot of things that are not obtained. There are a lot of levels that are not reached, a lot of relationships that are not built because there is a lack of willingness to open up one's mouth and communicate. Right? Now, on the flip side of that, there is the reality that those same individuals who do not open their mouths for whatever their reasons may be, and we've talked about those in the last 2 episodes, there are those individuals who they don't open their mouth and they express themselves with their body language. And a lot of times those individuals have a tendency to set themselves up for failure. I think it's fair to say that we have all been there. We have all been in a space where we did not have the best body language, or maybe we didn't want to communicate something. And instead of verbalizing it, we showed it with a facial expression. We showed it with a certain kind of body movement or a certain amount of gestures that maybe didn't communicate exactly what we wanted to communicate, if that makes sense. So I want us to really dive into this, and it's going to be quick. I'm going to give you 3 points that you can hold on to. So if you got your notebook, get you a notebook, open it up, get a pen, pencil, whatever you need, write it down, because I want you to really hone in on these 3 points, because if you can lock in on these 3, it's going to be of vital importance in your day-to-day life. So when we talk about why is being aware of your body language so important, number 1 is because your body language will always expose you. Your body language will always tell the truth about what's really going on the inside. See, there are individuals who use body language, which is a form of nonverbal communication, while they're actually communicating verbally. And so A lot of times when you look at the way that people move while they say what they say, it can kind of give you a sense of, is there a truth behind what they're saying? A lot of times body language is the validation behind verbal communication. So that's why sometimes you can look at somebody and say, something's not right. I don't think they're being honest. Look at how they cut their eyes, or why do they look so uncomfortable while they're talking about that? What is it? Why do they seem so uneasy? It's because of their body language. So now that means that if what I am saying to you does not hold more weight than the expressions that I show while I say it, if the gestures and the body movement and the vibe that I put off by how I am moving my body and the message that I am sending with my body holds more weight than my actual words, then that should let us know how important our body language is, especially as men and women of God, especially as individuals who are trying to be successful in life. So if the reality now is that we have the understanding that our body language will expose us, now we have to be cognizant of our heart posture, of our thought process, of the things that reside in our heart and the things that we're thinking. Because sometimes your body language comes out subconsciously. It doesn't always come out consciously. You're not always in control of how you respond. Some things you just respond with your body in a certain way. You don't even know you're doing it. How do you fix that? You fix that by adjusting your heart posture. You fix that by getting in your word more, by meditating on the concepts and the precepts of the word of God, going deeper in a relationship with God so that your heart continues to change, so that you can consistently affect your subconscious responses to things, so that what you're putting off body language wise is always a reflection of the fruits of the Spirit. They're always a reflection of the righteousness that resides on the inside of you. See, now, if you're walking around and you have different opportunities in front of you in life, and you are not aware of how your body language is coming off, or you are not aware of or in tune enough to make sure that you are controlling your internal things, your emotions, your thought processes, your heart postures, then what will happen is you can miss out on a lot of opportunities that God has placed in front of you because of becoming exposed by your body language. People don't want to be around people with bad body language. People don't want to be, you don't have to say a word. You don't have to say anything. You can simply come into a room and have bad body language, and people don't want to get involved with you. People don't want to hear your side of the story whenever you want to communicate things. People have a tendency to push you away rather than invite you in. And we have to understand that relationship is so key in expanding the kingdom and in our personal success in life. The reality of it is we live in a world where you're going to have to come in contact with other individuals, and you're going to need other individuals in some shape, form, or fashion to some capacity in order to get where you're trying to go. You may not need their help or their support, but you may have to work with them. You may have to do a business deal with them. You may have to come in contact with somebody who they know, and you need to talk to them as a reference point. There's so many different scenarios that you can have where you're going to have communication with people. And the last thing you want is to be walking around with bad body language, exposing yourself of all of the things that are not like God, and making people say, I don't want to be involved with this person. I don't want to help this person. I don't want to talk to this person. I don't want to listen to this person. See, now remember, we're men and women of God. So that means that we hold a certain reputation. There is a certain standard not only set by God, but set by society. That's just the reality of the world that we live in. When you say you're a Christian, people put expectations on you. So now, although you may not come out and be saying things out loud that are negative, that are condescending, that are filled with problems or negativity or anything that's not like God, you may be walking around carrying that message. You may be carrying the message of the flesh while verbalizing your position of the spirit and of the righteous. I'm a Christian, but I'm walking around mad all the time. I love God, but I'm walking around with a negative attitude and I'm looking at people like I don't like them. And this person just upset me. And now I'm looking them up and down and I'm feeling some type of way. I'm supposed to be loving, but I can't stand these people over here. They get on my nerve. Every single time you show your body language, it exposes what is really on the inside of you. And you have to be aware of your body language and how you are reflecting what is on the inside of you and what's on the inside of you, so that you do not send out confusing messages to people who God wants you to lead. There is an expectation on your life. There's an expectation on my life. And we have to make sure that we're fulfilling that expectation by being a good representation of Christ at all times. And that has to fall in line with all forms of communication, verbal and nonverbal, body language. Point number 2, body language can either elevate you or it can demote you. I'm sure that there are a multitude of individuals in this world who have experienced not getting a job opportunity that could have possibly changed their life, who was qualified, who on paper had everything that it took, who maybe even knew the right people to get them in the door. But the one thing that held them back is because when they sat down in that interview, the person sitting across from them did not like their vibe. In other words, did not like their body language. It is so important that you understand your body language allows for other people to feel comfortable around you. Your body language makes people feel as though they can trust you. Now, when you look at it logically, can I factually prove that this person is a trustworthy person simply because of their body language? No, I can't. There's no way to factually validate and prove that. However, the world that we live in requires for you to have to be adaptable in order to be successful. And a part of that adaptation is you being able to carry the right kind of body language so that when you walk into opportunities, when you walk into interviews, when you walk into business meetings, when you walk into boardrooms, people sit across from you and next to you. And as you begin to speak, and they're listening to what you're saying, but also watching your body language, they say, there's something about him. There's something about her. I believe in this individual. The message that you carry and the desires that you have are so much bigger than just how you communicate them out of your mouth. They also reside with how you carry them on your shoulders. Your desires in life have to also be met with a level of intentionality and effort to do the best that you can to always carry out a healthy level of body language that is conducive to where you're trying to go. See, we talk all the time about, can I communicate in a way that is a reflection of where I'm trying to go and the purpose that God has for me? But on the flip side, as I communicate, can I also, with my frustrations that I feel, with being annoyed, with being stressed, with dealing with everything that I'm dealing with, can I also deal with that, but carry out the body language that represents the righteousness that's on the inside of me? See, there is no perfection. God is the only perfect thing in our lives. God himself is perfect, but because we have a relationship with him, he perfects us. Through his righteousness, he perfects us. So what you have to remain focused on is not allowing the imperfections, the flesh aspects of who you are, to be what is controlling your body language. Your body language has to be controlled by your righteousness. How do you do that? You feed one more than the other. Yes, you're human. You're going to go through what you're going through. You're going to deal with everyday things. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be irritated. You're going to be mad. You're going to be sad. You're not going to feel like doing things sometimes. That is understandable. But understand that it is equally, if not more important, that as you carry out your day-to-day life, your body language does not represent that, but that it represents the righteousness that you walk with, the righteousness that you verbalize to other individuals in society that you abide by. Now, point number 3, body language can either grow you. Body language can either grow or incapacitate your leadership capabilities. Now, I've talked about this a million times. We all have to have the understanding that we are called leaders. God has called us to lead on our own levels, in our own capacities, the way that he's called us to lead. There is always people watching you. Whether you believe it or not, there are people who are watching. Whether you have social media or not, whether you are out and about a lot, there is somebody somewhere at some moment, when you went somewhere, when you went to the store, when you stopped and got gas, when you walked down the street, there's somebody in every environment that you go in who is seeing you, who is watching. And that is an opportunity for your leadership to flourish. That is an opportunity for your leadership to have an impact, because you are called to be a leader. So that means that that is an opportunity for your calling to have an impact, for your calling to continuously develop, which means there's a potential for the expansion of the kingdom of God. So if that is the case, then that means the fact that people are watching you means that you have to be cautious, not only of what you say, but of what your body is saying. See, it's not just what you say or what you do. It's what you say, it's what you do, and it's how you say and do what you do. That is your body language. See, I can ask somebody to help me to do something, and if they help me do it, but the whole time their body language is showing that they don't want to do it, I will never want to ask them to help me again. Is that a reflection of a leader? A leader is somebody who people are not afraid or intimidated to come and ask for help. A leader is somebody that when they look at this person, they say, man, I know that they have stuff going on. I'm aware that they have struggles. I'm aware of certain things that have happened in their life. Or, wow, I just heard that her mom passed. But yet, look at how she's carrying it. I wonder what she has that I don't have, because I don't think I could do that. Girl, ain't no way I'd be able to handle that. Hey, bro, bro. I don't even know how he doing that. Fam tripping. I don't even. But it's because your body language and the righteousness that's rooted on the inside of you, and your body language is reflecting that righteousness. So now when they're trying to figure out how you're able to do what you're doing, you have an opportunity now to become vocal in your leadership. You already showed the body language aspect of it, and you represent it within your leadership in a way that would be pleasing to God, because you're in alignment with the righteousness that you say you believe in and you abide by. And now, because of that, has sparked someone's interest to come and communicate with you, which gives you now a secondary opportunity to say, hey, this is the God that I serve. This is how I'm able to do this. That opportunity is major in expanding the kingdom. So your body language is a key component to your capabilities of being able to be the leader that God has called you to be, continuously growing. But if you do not have healthy body language, then you are going to incapacitate your ability to be a leader. You are going to shut off that entire aspect of leadership, which means that you are blocking yourself from being all that God has called you to be, which means that you are blocking yourself from more opportunities. So now you can't turn around and be upset that you're not progressing in life, and that you're not growing, and that you're not seeing the things that you've been praying for, because you have incapacitated a part of yourself, a part of your ability, a part of what God has given you as a gift and what he's called you to. So you have to make sure that you are not doing yourself harm. Body language is something that we look over so much. For whatever reason, we don't recognize how big of a deal it is. We don't sit up and actually value how important body language is, when in reality, body language a lot of times is more valuable than verbal communication. Body language in a lot of situations really is everything. When I am going for an opportunity on a level, on a platform that I've never been on, and I walk in with a smile on my face and a good mood, regardless of what was going on at the house before I left. And I walk in a great mood and I say, hey, how you doing, man? I'm CJ Stokely. Or, hey, how you doing, Queen? I'm CJ Stokely. Nice to meet you. That body language is addicting. It makes people have a desire to want to be around you. It makes people have a desire to find interest in you. It will make people want to help you. It will make people want to support you. Don't block off your own blessings by finally learning how to communicate, when to communicate, but then turning around and communicating verbally, but then carrying horrible body language. Those two things become a conflict of interest when you do that. And you're guaranteed to never be able to get as far as you want to get in life. So you have to remember, body language is of extreme importance. Your body language matters. Your communication matters, verbal and non-verbal. So that's it for this episode. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you're able to take from those three things. Remember, number one, body language will expose you. Okay. Number two, body language can elevate you or it can demote you. Number three, body language can either grow or incapacitate your leadership capabilities, and you're called to be a leader. You are called to expand the kingdom. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter where you are in life, you're called to be a leader. Right where you are, you're called to be a leader. So keep those 3 things with you. Apply them to your arsenal. Next week, we'll continue on. Potentially, it'll be a part 4. I don't know. I got to wait and see what God gives me, but we'll see. But just be ready if it is. If it is, we're gonna continue on with the power of communication. I hope it will be, because there's so many other things that I want to touch on, but I just gotta wait and get that confirmation from God first, and then we'll continue on if that is the case. I hope that you have a great rest of the week. I hope that God continues to do things in your life. Remember, do not give up. Do not quit. Continue to hang on. Continue to press. Continue to lift your head, O ye gates. Okay, remember, God is always with you. And as always, you are always the more and never the lesser. And you, and me, we are Fourth Quarter Pressure. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Hold up. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Fourth Quarter Pressure podcast. I genuinely appreciate you. If it blessed you, if you got something from it, if you received any message from something that was shared on this episode, please go and rate it 5 stars. Please like, share, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. Spread the word to your friends, your family members, because we are trying to make an impact. We're in this together. Remember, I said that we're in this together. So I pray that you are blessed by it. Follow on all social media platforms at This Is 4QP. And remember, you are always the more, never the lesser. And we are Fourth Quarter Pressure. I'll see you next time.